Hello everyone, and welcome back to Lakeside. Obviously not in the train room but in our kitchen, because the lock gate kit has arrived. So it's not bad. I ordered it on Monday, it's now Wednesday, and it came today, this morning. So what I'm going to do is just briefly go over what I've got in front of me, including the kit. And I'll adjust the camera so it's a little nearer to what I'm doing so that you can see better. But I just thought I would show you what I've got here at the moment. But before I do any of that, I want to say a massive thank you for the comments I received on my very last video I put up, which you all know about. And this is, if you like, a therapy session for me. You'll be pleased to know that I'm feeling a whole lot better. I have been over the last 3 days, and I think it's really down to doing that video, because it really helped me to talk. It wasn't a sympathy vote or anything like that, it was just to get it off my chest. And doing that, and also talking to my wife and a few other people, but primarily Hazel, it has really helped me, really made me feel better. I've got my mojo back again to go and do some work on the layout, hence the kit. That was one of the first things I did after doing that video, was to order a kit. As I said to you, I had 3 in my mind which I wanted to do, and in the end I decided to do, I'm going by this one from JS Models, and at first glance it looks bloody superb, it really does. However, time will tell as I'm building the kit whether it actually plays out as good as it looks. I think it will, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, a massive thank you to all of you who contributed to that video, commented. It really warmed the cockles of my heart, to be honest, to think that there are so many people out there who are wishing me well and yeah, just did me a bundle of good, really did. So with that, I will just move the camera a little bit differently so that you can see what I'm doing, and we'll start the kit. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute. Right, hello again. So what I've got in front of me are just some general tools which I'm anticipating I'll need to build the kit. So obviously this is the kit. This is a very thick wad of paper for the instructions, which are really good, very detailed. You can see the illustrations there of how to put it together, as well as the text to tell you where to get the parts from what sprue, etc. So that is a very good start. This is all wrapped up, the actual kit is all wrapped up, ready to take out of its sprues. As regards tools, I've got a straight edge, some sanding paper, scalpel, a couple of files, a small saw, some PVA glue, some super glue, a couple of brushes to put the glue on with, a couple of clamps, and obviously a cup of coffee, my cigarettes. So I'm rearing to go, really. So if we take a look at the kit, as I say, we've got the instructions, so they're really good. Inside the kit there's a little box, and this box contains all the brass etchings which are for the lock, which includes step ladders, etc. There's some 3D printed parts in here as well. What else has it got? Nickel silver wire. Obviously I've got that for handrails, I would think, or something. So that's included. Bit of bubble wrap there. And the actual main kit, which is wrapped again. Just try to look. And there's all different sprues in here of different components, and until I unwrap it I'm not really sure what's in here, but what I do know is that on the first part I've got to take certain sections out from these sprues and cut them from the sprue on the reverse side, cut the tabs out, hence the scalpel and a new scalpel blade. I always keep my scalpel blades new or sharp. There's nothing worse than trying to do something with a worn scalpel blade. There are more accidents caused by worn out scalpel blades, or blades in particular, than having them sharp, as bizarre as it may seem, but trust me, that's true. So there we have it. It's, as I say, it's a very, very comprehensive kit, but I won't know how well this goes together until I start working on it. So that's the next thing to do, is to unwrap this. I will only get the components out from the sprues as and when it's called for. I'm not going to take them off the sprues because each sprue is identified, and in the instructions it says from sprue A take component blah, then from sprue B or C or whatever take that component, and you assemble it that way. So if I take it all out of the sprues, I won't know what is coming from where. So it's best to leave them on the sprues until it's time to do that part of the kit. But what I can do is just take this cellophane off. In fact, I can do that now, just so that the sprues are loose. So with my scalpel, with the new blade, just take that off. Put that over there. When you do an MDF laser cut kit of any sort, there's always that smell from being laser cut, and that burnt smell. So that's sprue E. So I could, in theory, just place these sprues on the table in order so that I can get rid of this box. I think I should probably do that. So let's lift that out. And these MDF sheets are of different thickness. And it goes 6mm, I think it's 6, 4, 3 and 2mm, something like that. And that's a hefty old sheet. That's obviously 6mm. Make sure there is only one there. Yeah. So that's sprue A. Sprue B. I'm going to have fun cutting these out, you can see that. Sprue C. D and E. So I can get rid of the box for now anyway. Which leaves my cutting mat clear, and it's then time to go and start doing stuff. So I went to the dentist this morning and I had that wobbly tooth taken out, So thank goodness that's out, because I can now speak without a lisp, with that stupid tooth wobbling about. So I think it's time to start. I think we're going to be coffee and a cigarette first, and then we'll get cracking. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. Right, okay, let's start. So I think the first thing I want to show you is what's on each sprue, because now they're laid out on the table, there's quite a bit in here. So as regards this little box of bits, brass etchings and so forth, you've seen that. So on sprue A, that gives you the idea of the total length of the lock itself, which is I think 250 odd millimeters in length. So that's quite a chunky old lock, which is nice, because that means that I could probably get one, possibly two barges or narrowboats in there. So that's the base, and then sprue B, right over here, consists of the walling, I guess. Most of that is the walling and a top edge, I think, and a few other components. That's 2mm by the looks of it, or 2 I think. Sprue C is more end walling and gates, which apparently all interlock, allegedly. And D is some more gates, and I think, yeah, it's a bridge which goes across a walkway. It's very fine, excellent. And lastly, sprue E, which looks like 3mm, are steps and a couple of jigs as well. I think the jigs are for bending the hinges for the gates, looking at the instructions. So let's get cracking. So what do I need for the first step? Start by assembling the top gate housing using the base from the right hand side of the sprue C. Right, that looks exactly like it does on the instructions. So that's the way that little sub-assembly has come out. So I should just lay that down to set off. I've got to get myself covered in glue here. It's like being at school. Right. So next job, I'll go back and trim all the excess glue off later with a scalpel. That's page 1. That's cool. Right, page 2. Okay. The next stage is to assemble all the chamber walls together. Ideally, this assembly, steps 2 and 6, should be done in one sitting so that all wall sections can be aligned together. This should take no longer than 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah, right. With the lock base from sprue B, okay, it's fairly evident what lock base is. Just need to find the tabs. There we go. Yeah, yes, it's that way. It shows these empty at the moment, so obviously there's an extra bit of walling to go in there. So the next bit is one of those. Like that. And that, move that out for a moment. Then that, then another bit of that walling in there. So those two need to go there. And then that bit goes there. And then that bit goes there. Yeah. Like that. With 2 slots at the bottom. So that's the way it goes. So now first thing then is to glue this bit on. So that's how that's looking at the moment. So I've just scraped away a lot of the excess PVA, but I still need to do that once it's fully dry. But I shall put that to one side and let that set, along with the other piece I've just done. So that takes us up the end of page 2. The next stage is to repeat that process over this side. So I think I will do that. And then I've got to add a piece there and a piece here. And that will be the kind of the basic lock done. So I think I will do that now. I've done the whole lot. Can be setting off for the rest of the afternoon, I think. Okay, so I will do that now. I'll turn the camera off. I will do that now and then come back to you once I've got the rest of this on, because it's the same as what I've just done. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute. Hello again. Right, so I've now completed this part of the lock, which is now setting off, but it's pretty dry, but this will be obviously left overnight to fully dry off. So the next stage is to put the sidewalks on and the little curved platforms at the end here. The first parts of the sub-assembly, which I built first of, is now glued onto the end, along with the, what I assume is, I think, the water level here, and this is the area for one set of gates to go here, which are kept in the closed position. This end you can pose the gates in any position you want, but these I think are fixed. I'm not sure about that, but I think they are. So I've gone through and I've taken the access off the access PVA glue on the inside here. This will not be rubbed down obviously before I paint, but I've taken the excess off so it's all reasonably clean inside. I will run a bead of PVA all the way around here before the end of business today, so that could be setting off, because I will be pouring Woodland Scenic's realistic water, and what I don't want is for any leaks obviously to appear and start running out. So I shall make this, if you like, watertight as much as I can, so that I don't get any realistic water running out of it. So a bead of glue will be put along here. That obviously won't be seen, but this will. So I want this nice and clean. So I shall rub that down tomorrow. What I have done is also I've gone over all this surface here with my file, this, to get rid of any lumps and bumps from the little tabs which were sticking up when it was on the sprue. So these are the next bits to go on, and these are the 6mm MDF cut from the sprue, and I was thinking that's going to be a job to cut out those tabs, but actually the scalpel went through very easily, so it wasn't as difficult as what I thought. And again, I've gone along with my file along these edges and taken off any raised areas where the tabs were when it was fixed to the sprue. So all what's left to do now is for me to dry fit this to one side, and hopefully it's going to fit. I'm just going to make sure that I get this the right way round. So this one is for this side, is it? That goes in there, I think, yeah. And there's a little hole just there, and that locates in this peg on here. So I think it's probably best to line that up first. That slots over that, then this end slots in that peg there, allegedly. Yeah, like that. That's cool. So that should sit nice and flush on that wall, which it does. This is a lovely kit to build, I must admit. Yeah, so that fits on there like that. So I need to glue that down along with its other side. Let's see how this fits. So that locates in there. And that locates in there. So again, yeah, it fits perfectly. And on the end. Okay, cool. And then when they're on, I then have these quarter segments to fit in on the end. So these are handed, so one will go in that end, like that, and this one will go in this end, into the slots, like that. Once they are on and glued, I will then leave all this. I won't go any further tonight, so that this can all be setting overnight. And also the video is probably getting quite long now as well. I don't know how long it's going to be, but hopefully it won't be hugely long. Just see if that lines up, which it does. And this little thing here lines up. These line up. So yeah, it's all looking good. So let's take these off. Let's take that one off. Take this one off. I need to actually, I think I'll draw around that so I know where to put my glue. Hello again everyone. Right, I've got on really well this afternoon. As you can see, the main bulk of it is now assembled. It's quite a big lock. Really pleased with that. So I'm stopping here for tonight. The next job, according to the list on the instructions, are the gates, which are on sprue C, which is, and D, which are these two. So I've got to make those up. I might make those up tonight actually, because then they can be setting overnight, but I won't install them. And I want to also tonight put beads of glue all the way along here to seal it, and then that can be setting overnight too. But the main construction is pretty much done. The fiddly jobs are going to be putting these steps on here, so that you put your feet on these to get a grip to swing the gates round. both ends. It looks like that this end doesn't move, but I'll have to check on that. There's no holes for a hinge to go down, whereas there is on this side here, this end. So I think these are posed in the closed position. That's the water level. The gate's going to be up against the water level. I think that's the way it works. After the gates, I then get all the fiddly bits like shaping the gates for the hinge so it can rotate, adding the ladders, etc, etc. So the next stages really are quite fiddly, small intricate items, but the main bulk is done, so that's the main thing. So I'm really happy with this, very happy. And once that's all sanded down and primered, these are profiled, so the paint, if I put it on thin enough, shouldn't cover up the flagstones, the joins. So that's it for now, folks. I think you'll agree that that is a nice looking lock gate in its unfinished form. I have just done the steps either side. One set goes this way, the other set goes that way. You do have the option of just having one set of steps, but I thought, well, as I've got them, I might as well put two on as per the instructions. Yeah, I think that will sit nicely up by the castle end. Yeah, so hope you've enjoyed that. I certainly have. I think it's been a great build, and I thoroughly recommend, if you're going to do a lock, to at least look at this, because I was looking at the Bachmann Buildings ones, and they've got a whole series of jetties and walls and things like that which bolt onto or glue onto it, but when I saw this, I thought this is a nice kit to build. It's Bachmann one, obviously it's not a kit, it's just you open a box and it's done, but this has been a nice therapeutic afternoon for me to sit and make this, and it's nice and large, which is what I like too. It's quite realistic. So this will be part one, and part two will follow hopefully tomorrow. I'll see how I get on and what I've got on tomorrow, to be honest. But hopefully I can get some done tomorrow. Okay, so that's it for now, and I'll speak to you again hopefully tomorrow. Okay, bye for now. Bye.